I'm here at Thornscrub Sanctuary. This is our conservation property with one of the largest clumps of peyote that I've seen in Texas in about 5 years. You can see right here, there's a couple multi-headed individuals. There's one that's got about, I don't know, 20 to 25 heads on it. There's another one, 20 to 25 heads. The habitat here is remarkable. It's remarkably intact, but it's getting screwed. Okay, you can see there's actually a lot of pig damage over there. A lot of stuff's been uprooted. They're actually eating the peyote. The feral hogs are actually eating the peyote. It's Texas in such a drought right now. South Texas is so dry that they've been going for the Lophophora. So this is now on our list of things to do here. We just acquired the land last year. We need to raise money to, well, first we were going to raise money to get a shade structure. Now we need to raise money to get a well. First off, and shade structure is going to be pushed back. Our first call of order is to get rid of the pigs, which is going to require probably getting a trap. They run a few grand, a corral trap, and then probably, you know, having to lurk out here at night with night vision and rifles with suppressors, other stuff. We're going to have to be clearing trails, eradicating buffalo grass. There's buffalo grass on the property as well, which is an invasive grass that smothers all the cool natives. Building trails so that we can access this, keep tabs on these sensitive populations of plants, and basically everything else that, look, there's a massive amount of pig damage right there. You can see where they've been digging. We walked this whole 3-mile property. There's not one section that we saw that was not showing evidence of pigs. So these feral hogs are really, really bad. Okay, so and then we're going to try to get, you know, researchers, biologists in here, do things like study soil crusts. Like right there, you can see all that black stuff is alive. That's a living cyanobacterial crust. So to do that, we need funds. So we're a nonprofit entity. They're tax deductible donations. If you can donate to us, you can help us on this project. I'll be posting videos, updates, more of this population. It's really discouraging to see that there's already so much pig damage here. And there's a bunch of other rare plants on this property as well. So keeping tabs of those, you know, GPS waypoints, doing surveys, coming out with species lists for everything that grows here, just basically studying the ecology and then inviting other researchers to come. So the end goal for this is that we want to have a well. We want to be able to host researchers. We don't even have any buildings on the property yet. We want to put one in a location somewhat close to the road so that we can house visiting researchers and have maybe a lecture hall on a spot, maybe a mini lab, something like that. But those are the grandiose dreams. I don't care if it's 10, 20 years down the line. That's what we want to do. But we got to start by stewarding this land and getting the pig population eradicated, and maybe even doing, you know, tall fence around the property to protect it too. But this is some of the best intact thorn scrub that I've seen, a really unique ecosystem that we only get down here in South Texas, nowhere else in the United States. You get it in northern Mexico and South Texas, right? It's not quite desert, and but it's still really hot, and it gets incredibly dry for most of the year. Probably the hottest place in the United States, all right? The nights just don't cool down. You go further west to Phoenix, the nights cool down. Here, the nights don't cool down, all right? It gets like 80. Okay, like it's you know, New Year's Day, it's still 65. I mean, I'm wearing a hoodie, but this is like the coldest it gets. So really unique ecosystem. These are the plants that are adapted to drying with intense heat, as well as humidity and prolonged periods of drought. So help us out if you can. I'll put the information in the video description and up here as well, but anything you can do, we'd be grateful for. And of course, if you donate a significant amount, we'll please invite you to come visit this property, you know, open by appointment only, and we'll get you in here and you can come see some of the wonderful things that made this place so special and so worth conserving. That's all I got. Have a great day. Go fuck yourself. Bye. Oh, this is nice. We got a Poselgeri. You can see it's got that woody stem right down there. Excellent at mimicry, excellent at hiding. Big tuberous root down there that it can re-sprout from if that ever gets knocked off. Hiding in the ephedra. And what's going on down there? Oh, it looks like maybe a rat burrow that they then tried to cover with branches so as to make it look empty. Oh yeah, look, there's a snake shed. There's a rattlesnake shed. It looks like a rattlesnake. I guess it could be indigo too. Can't really see it. Yeah, it's hard to tell. But there's a snake shed, so there's probably a snake living under there too. Probably going to town on the rats. There's a really sweet and kind tortoise that I encountered when I was here last. Oh yeah, look who lives down there. Here's another shed. Yeah, it looks like that. Maybe that's rattler. I can't tell. Actually, no. Maybe, I don't know. There you go. Nice example of pig damage on the loafs. Oh, that's brutal. That's terrible to see. So we got to come out here. Maybe get one of those little piggy corrals, you know, so they can keep going in, but then they can't get out. So you end up with like 10, and you just show up and just, you know, fire at will. Damn, that's terrible to look at it. There we go. There's some pig fecal material, fecal delivery. God, I hate these things. Just the rage is, I'm just building a reservoir of rage towards these fucking invasive European pigs. Guajillo angustifolium. Look at that dense growth. Member of the creosote family. God, I love this. And it's all covered in lichen. Very slow growing. Yeah, look at this. The pigs are eating peyote. Look at that. Oh, God. Dug up. There's another one there. Intact soil crust. Another little one there. But they're clearly eating it. Well, at least it's not poachers. That's nice. That would be surprising. It'd be really hard to get here on foot. That's a fucking drag, though, man. We're going to have to... We need a corral trap. Who's got a corral trap out there? We need a corral trap, and we need to kill like 10 of them at once. Yeah, man. Okay, so this is... Yeah, there's one. They abandoned it for whatever reason, but they dented that epidermis. And then there's actually one that's kind of cool. You can see it. They sometimes do that. They grow inside the shrub, or maybe they were... I don't know how that happens. As the shrub grows, it probably grows around them. But either way, there's quite a few left. But, you know, it only leads you to wonder how many were here that have since been destroyed by the pigs. Zinnia austrotexana. Shout out to Zinnia austrotexana right there. Little seedling germinating. And, of course, we got the gravels, the Rio gravels. God, pigs and humans, man. Okay, we'll be right there. But yeah, we got to do something about the pigs. At least the soil crust is still intact. Here we go. Here's one that they weren't able to get, but it does look like it was nicked. Apparently the pigs, you know, they're smart enough, they probably can recognize the geometry just like humans can. So even if it's in, you know, a pile of gravel, they could still spot it. I'm surprised. I mean, the drought's really bad, so that's probably why they're not minding the extremely bitter taste of all those alkaloids. But we're going to have to set up a pig trap. It's going to be a pig. It's been a peyote massacre here. It's about to be a pig massacre. And then a lot of barbecue. Yeah, look at that. You could see they're going at that, too. Every peyote I've come across almost has been nicked and dug. You can see there's some... 1 second. You could see there's a little bit of excavating, too. So they're coming in. God, oh my God. There's so many holes. I mean, it makes you wonder... what have they gotten so far? We know they're eating them, and there's so many holes everywhere. It makes you wonder how many have already been lost. You know, something was going at that guy.
That's the big one, and then there's a little baby one over there.
See, at least most of the peyoteros, I mean, there's some unscrupulous shits who will come out here with buckets and just dig, but most of the peyoteros just cut. They don't actually dig. If they cut it, it can re-sprout. The pigs take everything. Yeah, there's a little baby. Does it look like the pigs were digging there? Like right there, it looks like the pigs already, they probably scraped it away and sniffed it. I just smell bacon now. Look at this beautiful idyllic setting of the lichen on the black brush and then a little bird nest in there. Beautiful icon of the Thornscrub. Just as much an icon as the peyote. The peyote and the calcareous caliche soils. Look at that wonderful epicuticular wax on there. Oh yeah, that's a nice one. Yeah, there's little ones. There's little guys left. Man, there must have been so many more.
I found one over there.
Before the pigs got here. I mean, there's holes almost under every... You figure they're out here. They're out here digging. They mostly come out at night, so the neighbors tell me. They said they were able to pick off one or two, but the minute one of them drops, the rest all go running away. So Even, and they were using suppressors too, so there was no sound. So I think the corral trap's the way to go. Hey, look at it. Look, you smell something, Louie? She smells them. And look at that, massive. And they ate the roots of the Guajillo, and then it subsequently died. Or at least the branches that were connected to those roots did. Yep, there you go. You did find another one. Good job. And it looks like they tried to excavate this one too, but then stopped. They didn't catch this one, but they did get something right there. I wonder why they gave up. I wonder if they were just going for beetles or something. That looks like a little spider hole or something. There's another one that they tried to get at, but it was protected by the cage of the Guajillo above it, but then there's two holes right there, so they dug what was ever there. So that's one of the first orders of operation, is trapping the pigs and removing them. And then just like weeding, you gotta keep the trap and probably keep it there for a while. Check back on it, get a camera for it so that you get a notification whenever there's something in there. So you don't have to come all the way out. But removing those pigs is the first priority now. God, it's the same thing everywhere. Like, you can tell they don't get everything, which that's another reason this is pigs, not poachers. They leave some of them, and then then there's a hole. You could see what was probably there that they took, unless they were just chewing on looks like they were just chewing on the roots of the Guajillo too. So here's a little indication of what might have been lost at some of those other holes. You could see there's a 5-headed individual here. There's another one right there, another one right there, two right here, little guy right there, another one there, and another little guy right there. Yeah, and a bunch in there. So this is probably, if the drought ends up killing this Guajillo, there's going to be a lot less cover for them, which means more sunlight, more heat, and also the pigs can now access them. But these are pretty well hid for now. There's another one right there. Help us get rid of these pigs, please. Oh, another beautiful mound. There's a nice individual. Oh my God, it's just so vulnerable. Need to put a cage around it or something. Here's another little one. You can see there's a little bit of a depression right here, so that water, when it does rain, they get a refill. They get charged up. So there's those guys, and then right here, there's a hole. So God knows what was there. There we go. Senegalia, berlandieri, the Guajillo, and then right at the base, a bunch of yotes, which hopefully we can ensure that they stay there as long as we trap all the pigs. I mean, there's also, again, just, posting up at night, but you'd need like a blind or something. Need to erect a blind, some sort of elevated platform. You stay up there, you listen to your daily meditation tapes, and then when they come through, you just start blasting, Wow, that's kind of nice. Look at that. Doubt they're going to find that one. Yeah, there's a Mammillaria. It looks like there's a Mammillaria hydra. You can see its red fruit. Probably only here because it's protected by this cage of Guajillo. So that gives you an indication there was probably, I don't know, dozens to hundreds more. Who knows how long the pigs have been here, probably last few years. It might be a come and go thing, who knows. But I'm sure their populations are a lot larger now than they were 40 years ago. Okay, this sucks to see. Oh, that's fresh. Oh God. Oh Jesus. That hurts. That hurts. Ugh. And you could tell there was probably 2 or 3 other heads there as well. They weren't able to get that guy. This is a pretty immediate and pressing problem. And I don't know where they go in the evening, or during the day rather. In the evening they come out, but during the day I don't know where they go. There's another one protected. Yeah, who knows what this may have looked like 10 or 20 years ago. Another shifting baselines. issue, because this is, I mean, this is very clearly, I'm sure there were more here, and depending on how long the pigs have been here doing this, one can only guess what's been lost. Yeah, see, same thing right there. See that? You could see there's a couple hiding under the brush, and then there's a big excavation right there. And it got in that way, so it's terrible. These things are just causing so much damage to this already very rare and endangered plant. Peyote's already got so many threats facing it, poaching by morons, you know, a yearly annual demand from the Native American Church, and now it's got to worry about feral pig pressure too. Look at that. Oh, brutal. You see what we're doing? So we're putting the rocks around it so that we'll at least know if it's disturbed. I'm also marking these on a GPS map. So we'll be keeping a record of what plants are where and also tying geotagged photos to them. Good job. You did a good job. There we go. There's a nice illustration of that soil crust. It's alive. It gets wet, turns green, and it's holding all of that soil together. God, that's one of the things I'm most excited to get people out here to study. Look at that pig damage. God knows what was growing there. They are just fucking this landscape up. Ooh, is that some Rhabdotis snails? Some dormant? No, it's just white spots on the guaiacum. I got excited. I thought it was our resident Thornscrub snail. Look at that. Look, there's a bunch of crust holding this whole mound together, and you got some nice Ancestrocactus popping up right there as well, like little fish hooks. There was Tasajillo here, but it looks like it all died back. Really unique, man. Look at the more of these clumps. This is Altichillia canescens. What is this species of bacteria? See, there's a bacteria, cyanobacteria, and then there, of course, that brown stuff is the lichen. Okay, getting a little bit of a habitat change here. We're getting a little bit more moisture accumulating. I'm not seeing as much pig damage. And we're getting large clumps of Echinocerius enneacanthus. There's one. There's one. I was here in March and it was all blooming. It was very beautiful. You can see the mesquites providing a little bit more cover as well. They've excavated a big hole beneath that mesquite there. And there's a large loaf and there's a little one. But surely they've... You could, I mean, there's evidence everywhere where they've been tearing up the soil. And a lot of these plants are scarred. You know, it is probably a little too shady here for these loafs and the, there's some nice ones. Yeah, see, oh God. What was there? Jesus Christ. Look, this one has 8 heads. Yeah, you could see there's 2 individuals. These were probably not connected to this, but there's 8 heads on that one. And then there's another 6-headed one, and then there's 2 giant holes, actually 3, that have been excavated around the roots of this mesquite. Look, there's a good example. That's called etiolation. See, this thing was under the shade. You can see when it gets all tall like that, they're not supposed to be tall. They're not supposed to be cylindrical. They're supposed to be like flattened little discs, so that's not enough light, that thing. And there's no farina on there, too. Look how dark green that is. God, look at the holes. Jesus, man. Yeah, look at that. Look, they're just murking, they're murking the habitat. God, I've never wanted bacon more than I do now. Look, so I don't know what happened here, if this was just stabbed with one of these branches, but you damage the apical meristem and the hormones trigger it to sprout lateral growth. And so when you see multi-headed individuals, that's what happened. It could also be that the apical meristem wasn't getting enough light, so it's sending out new roots. I don't know. This is a shadier habitat than the more exposed one where we were just at. But the pigs are, God, they're still just murking it. I'm getting a dopamine rush just from being around these things. Here we go. Okay, baby, can I get by? Thank you. All right, so we got a 10 header. Andres has just spotted a 10 header over here. Look at this rich duff. Just the perfect nursery for Lophophora. Oh, there we go. There's a beauty. Okay, we'll mark this, and this will definitely be a plant that we'll make note of and come back to. That's all the same individual plant. It looks like that scarring. That might be There's the epicuticular wax is not as blue on this one. It is more shaded, but it's also growing in a richer soil with a lot more soil dove. And I believe that scarring, and that scarring comes from it just being a little too shady. It's crazy because the West Texas populations are much drier and more exposed, but they don't get as hot as it does here. That humid air, since it's more humid here, since we're close to the Gulf, the nights don't cool down as much. There's more cumulative heat throughout any 24-hour period than there would be in a drier environment, where there's a greater variation between day and night temperatures. So the habitat is much different. You would never find peyotes growing in a habitat like this in West Texas or in Coahuila. They're going to be much more exposed and a lot bluer. Again, it's drier, but it's cooler. But we're talking about temperature, not just daily temperature, but cumulative temperature throughout the year or throughout the season. You got to think of it long term in that. What do the night temperatures get to? That's a beautiful individual though. Despite its scars, look at all the duff around it too. See, this is nice to see, but even this is impacted. There's probably 60 heads here, but all this is still impacted, and a lot of them aren't that big. And the soil's turned up everywhere. I mean, I have not seen one section. The pigs looks like they came in maybe late summer, and there's not one section that's not undisturbed. Oh my God! Careful where you step here. They're everywhere. This is for whatever reason, this is a really healthy little population. Okay, I didn't find this yet. I didn't even know this was on the property. There's what's got to be a 20-headed individual. I haven't seen anything like this since probably 2019, especially not in Texas, because Texas has just been getting hit so bad with poaching, land clearance, and pigs. But this is, I mean, you can see there's clearly evidence of pig trampling through here. You know, Ziziphus is in Rhamnaceae. It associates with nitrogen-fixing Frankia bacteria, so maybe this is a more nitrogen-rich spot. You can see this whole thing just is dead now. Well, it's still alive a little bit right there, but that could be it. Maybe the soil's richer, more full of nitrogen. There's more pig damage. But this is a really robust population. It also could just be a phenotypic thing. Maybe this thing just clumps more readily. This phenotype and everything close to it. So who knows? I have no idea. But it's a really special thing to find. Nice little Mammillaria sphaerica right there too. I haven't seen much of that. Let's see, I found a couple uprooted closer to the road, but we're here at Thornscrub Sanctuary, a 150-acre conservation property that we purchased with our nonprofit. Last year, I guess now. It's New Year's Day. But anyway, you can see Javi just came in here with the brush hog, cleared out a path of little patch of formerly disturbed land, so it didn't hurt as much anyway. It was already kind of infested with buffalo grass. He had some black brush coming back, but it's already cleared out. And this is where we'd like to put our shade structure, research facility, and also a well. So that's why I'm doing this video. Reach out to you, asking if you can find it in your heart. If anyone's got some extra cash laying around, donations they'd like to make, they're tax deductible, to help basically steward this property. We're going to put it into a conservation easement. We've got a bad feral pig problem that we're going to have to deal with and get rid of. They're doing a lot of damage, especially to some of the rare cactus species on this property. Like I said, the well, we got to drill a well. It's going to be about 20 grand. We're going to eventually, long-term goals to put a research station here where we can house visiting researchers. But even before that, because of how hot it is in the summer, we're going to have to put, a decent shade structure, probably a couple stories, 2-3 story shade structure, nice iron shade structure with some good roofing material to even have a place to park. I mean, prior to clearing this, we didn't even have a place to park. So I'm very hopeful about this. It's going to be a great educational resource, great spot to show people what, relatively non-disturbed Thornscrub looks like, a very unique habitat type that you find out here in South Texas. We'll be hopefully hosting school groups, building, maintaining trails, and especially keeping an eye on all the rare plants here. you know, surveying repeatedly, seeing how they're doing, what's disturbing them, how they're dealing with things like prolonged dry season, etc. So I'm really excited about this. Also want to get some people in here to study some of the unique soil crusts and the soil microbiome that's going on here. Anyway, if you can find it in your heart to donate to us, you can email us at Thornscrub Sanctuary. You can hit us up on Zelle, Thornscrub Sanctuary, Venmo, Thornscrub Sanctuary, Cash App, Thornscrub Sanctuary, etc. So anyway, let's I'll quit yapping. We can go walk into the bushes and see what we can find.